There are 3 things on your checked bags right now that are basically screaming, "Steal my stuff" to airport thieves. And the crazy part is you probably think at least one of these things is actually protecting your stuff. Today I'll show you what these seemingly innocent mistakes are, plus how to prevent theft from your checked luggage with some simple fixes. But first you need to understand how thieves think, because once you get this, everything else is gonna make more sense. Basically, airport thieves are constantly doing this quick mental calculation. Is this worth the risk? How much effort is this gonna take? And what are my chances of getting caught? There's actually a name for this in criminology called the rational choice theory. Thieves look for the path of least resistance with the highest reward. And there are 3 specific factors that play into this: time pressure, blending in, and plausible deniability, which explains why a thief can literally walk away with your bag in front of a crowd and nobody will stop him.
But wait, here he is again and again, taking suitcases that aren't his. Watch as he leaves the airport unstopped.
So tuck those 3 factors away for later. The first thing making your checked luggage a target is your TSA lock. And I know this sounds completely backwards because most people think, wait, isn't a lock supposed to protect my stuff? But the irony is when a thief sees a TSA lock on your luggage, their eyes light up. People don't lock up dirty underwear and worthless garbage. They lock up valuables. This goes back to that risk-reward calculation going through their minds. But it gets worse because those TSA locks that are only supposed to be available to airport security have been leaked online. Anyone can 3D print them or buy them for cheap. So you're literally advertising that you have valuables locked up with a lock that doesn't actually lock. And then there's the pen trick. The lock itself is only securing the zipper pulls together, but the actual zipper track can be forced open by poking in a ballpoint pen. Check this out. Pretend this is your checked luggage. You just have to stab it, open it, easy. Then after sticking their grubby hands in there, they can just close it up and you won't even be the wiser. And if something's missing from your luggage when you arrive, you might just think that you forgot to pack it. One solution is luggage with tamper-proof zippers like this pack safe that I literally can't stab into even if I wanted to. But other than a few other suitcases with this feature that I'll link to, the pen trick works on pretty much anything with a zipper. And this is where that time pressure factor comes in. Whether it's a dishonest baggage handler or a traveling thief, their time is limited. They're looking for bags that signal high value and easy access. And that's exactly what a TSA lock does. And to make matters worse, even if thieves don't steal from you, airport security breaks these locks all the time, and sometimes will even break your luggage to try to get inside, which leaves your belongings vulnerable for the rest of your trip. I will admit that a TSA lock may stop an opportunistic theft who wasn't planning on stealing, but you better bet that a pro thief came prepared with a pen and a key. So why not just avoid attracting either type of thief in the first place? You can draw less attention to yourself by using low-key alternatives to secure your luggage, like zip ties, key rings, or those small spiral ties that can be cut easily without damaging anything. Since my zippers are black on my suitcase, I like using a neatly trimmed zip tie, which is basically incognito to a thief's eyes compared to a big shiny lock. It's also super easy for TSA to cut off if they need to get inside your bag, but just make sure to pack a fingernail clippers in your personal item so that you can cut off your own zip ties once you arrive in your destination. Another option is a luggage cover like this one, which adds an extra layer of protection, or you can even just use saran wrap. A lot of airports offer luggage wrapping services, but you can also just bring your own saran wrap if you want to save some money. This completely defeats the pen trick because they can't even get to your zipper and it's just way too much of a hassle to try to take off all that saran wrap. Next are your luggage tags. Does everyone who touches your bag really need to know where you sleep at night? Because here's what a luggage tag with your home address is actually telling thieves. Number 1, you're not home right now, you're traveling. Number 2, here's the exact address of a potentially empty house. Number 3, this person has money to travel, so they probably have a house worth robbing. At this point, that risk-reward calculation is looking pretty good for them. Now you might be thinking, okay, but does this ever really actually happen? And you're right, you don't really see this much in the news, but that's because it would be incredibly difficult to catch and prove, which is exactly why one ex-professional thief who admitted to over 20,000 home break-ins said that he loved to hang out in airport check-in areas specifically to gather home addresses from luggage tags. And it's not just thieves you need to worry about either. A TikToker named Kristen was sitting at the airport on her layover when she got a text from a complete stranger.
Hi Kristen, which that's not even my name. My name is Nate. I saw you and thought you were so beautiful, so I had to find a way to talk to you. I saw your number on your luggage tag and decided to text you. I promise this isn't as weird as it seems. Give a guy a chance.
Yikes. The worst part is that her home address was also on her luggage tag, so now this creep knows where she lives. This type of exposure can happen in the check-in areas that's accessible to the public because anyone can walk in there. And if you've ever looked around the airport and counted how many travelers are completely oblivious, glued to their phones with headphones on, you'd quickly see how easy it would be for a thief to subtly snap some photos of luggage tag. The baggage claim area could potentially be another vulnerable spot, but this is only accessible to passengers and not the public. But if you think about it, it wouldn't be that far-fetched to imagine a thief who buys a $25 budget airline ticket to a money destination like Vegas, walks to the baggage claim, snaps photos of tags of some high rollers, sends those to his homies back home, and then flies back all in time for dinner. And then of course there's always the airline staff and contractors who see your luggage tags up close all the time. The simple fix here is to use a luggage tag that has a privacy cover that blocks your personal information, then flip that info card backwards so not even your name is visible. And for even more privacy, you can use a work phone number and a work address, or even just put on there an email alias. I use this tag that Spigen sent me that has a magnetic privacy flap, feels pretty fancy and matches my suitcase. But you can also get super cheap bright colored ones on Amazon that I'll link to that make your bag stick out even more, which brings me to the next thing that luggage thieves look for. But first, if you've learned something from this video, give it a like and subscribe for more tips on how to travel safer and smarter. Okay, so if you have a plain black suitcase that looks like hundreds of other bags out there, you're making life so easy for a checked luggage thief for two reasons. First, it blends in. Since there's no distinctive features, it makes it super easy for a thief to accidentally grab it off the luggage carousel without drawing attention.
Harbor police arrested the baggage thief not far from here at the airport and found 14 stolen bags taken from here in the back of his pickup truck.
Thieves want to look like normal, low-key travelers, so if they grab a bright, unique piece of luggage, people are going to notice. But if they grab a generic black one, everyone just assumes it's a mistake, which brings up the plausible deniability principle. Professional thieves always have an excuse ready. Oops, wrong bag, my bad. That excuse totally works for a generic looking suitcase, but it's never gonna work for a neon yellow suitcase covered in stickers. There's two solutions to this without having to buy another bag, one obvious and one not so obvious. The obvious one is to make your bag look unmistakable by using stickers, patches, bold straps, and things like that. Adding this kind of stuff tips that risk-reward ratio out of the thief's favor. The less obvious tip is about timing. The first bags that come off the plane and are loaded onto the carousel are more vulnerable to theft because there's less people around. This makes it easier for thieves to grab your luggage or even snap some photos of the luggage tags without having witnesses around. That's why it's always smart to get to the baggage claim area as quickly as possible, even if you think your bag's gonna take a while. Save that bathroom break until after you get your bags, and if you're about to pee your pants or something, just don't go to the very first bathroom, which is gonna have a huge line. And after you finally reunite with your checked bag, now the real fun starts. Because now you need to protect your valuables during your actual trip. Luckily, you can use the super sneaky techniques and gadgets that I mentioned in this video to outsmart thieves at their own game. Seriously, thieves and pickpockets hate when travelers use this stuff. Alright guys, like, subscribe, and do the things. Love you. Bye-bye.